You can't take away someone's courage. You can't take someone's passion. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. We share what we've learned from years of experiences and out of our mistakes. It's just not another fairy tale. It's the story that made us stronger and brought the best of us.
Hi everybody, I hope you're having a nice day. Now what are we here for today? See, we are going to talk about outsourcing. Now most of you watching this video, you guys are either entrepreneurs or aspiring to be an entrepreneur. Now at some point in your life you have decided to outsource a project, or you might have already done that. So today we are going to discuss about some things you should keep in mind when you're actually outsourcing your projects.
Great intro. So yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of this. So what do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the most basic and the complex issue that two companies face, that's the legal issues.
Yeah, if you want to talk about legal issues, I would be basically narrowing down the entire thing into two things. Two ways. One, if you want to outsource your tasks, you can set up your own company to a different place to save your money. If you want to do that, you're going to be really concerned about the local laws where you want to set up your business. The other way is you can contract with a different company for outsourcing your project or tasks, which is basically the most common thing that people do. If you're doing that, then you have to be really again aware of the local laws of where you are basically being hooked up with, and also you have to be very clean on the mutual contract that you have with that company, which includes all the legal parameters, all the scope of work and matrix about the deliverables and everything.
Let's say I have a company in Sweden.
Yeah.
Now, instead of contracting, I actually decide to open a branch in Singapore.
Yeah.
Which laws do I actually follow, the Swedish law or the Singapore?
Cool. So that's a great question. So in your case, you're setting up your own company in Singapore, and you have to follow the Singapore laws by any means when you're operating on Singapore. Yeah, absolutely. So you have to follow their taxes, you have to follow their legal parameters and everything.
Alright, so but at the end, the whole net profit will be shifted to the home country.
Absolutely. You can also keep it separate. You can also merge it together if you want. So all of your parameters should be in one contract when you're basically registering in Singapore.
Alright, so let's say instead of opening a branch in Singapore,
yeah,
actually decide to have a contract with a second company in Singapore.
Great. So here, if you're going to make a contract with a company in Singapore, you have to be aware of the Singapore laws and everything. That's number one. Number two is, if there are conflicts, you can make sure in your contract that what's going to be the arbitrary country when you have conflicts, in which law you go by when you have conflicts.
Now, the main thing which most entrepreneurs forget to overlook is the cultural factors, the culture and the social factors. What suggestions do you have regarding this?
That's a great thing to talk about. So at times, it may seem like not productive enough when we talk about social and cultural factors, but it's actually a really important thing. So first of all, you need to understand that what is your delivery pattern. If your delivery pattern is really tight, then it's really important that you have a contract with a company with close proximity in terms of time difference. So if you have a very tight deadline of your deliveries with your client, I would say the most time difference with the contracting country can be 6 hours max. So at times it's really important and can become really fatal when you're delivering your project to your client.
So you're trying to tell me that if there's another country with like about 8 to 9 hours gap, should we do business with them?
Well, it totally depends on the delivery pattern that the company has. If the delivery pattern is really tight with the clients, I would not suggest myself to get in a contract with a company which has 9 hours time difference. So apart from time difference, I think there's another thing which is really important when two companies from two countries are working together, and that is approach. Uh, you've been studying in Malaysia, and right now you're working with clients from London. I would be basically asking you, what do you think of the approach in terms of you serving your clients from London and approach you expect from your clients from London?
Okay, so now the approach is very complicated because psychologically people they are always different in different countries. So what I do basically is I stay quiet. I don't make the first move. I let them ask the questions initially. So that gives me a clear picture what they want to hear. So then that is how I make my move. And then let's say arranging meetings. Arranging meetings never go on one country's clock. Always make it on a 24-hour clock with the GMT. So that will help you guys like come in a mutual timeline. Why don't you tell us about the project structure? Like you guys need to make a certain structure so that both the clients and you can understand how the project is going to go.
That's actually really, really important. When we talk about project structures, we talk about a lot of things. It's just not one thing. So imagine like two companies from two different countries are working together, and when the project size is 1 year or 2 years, it's really, really important. And at times, things become really, really complicated in terms of delivery. So the first thing that we think really important is the scope of work, which is very basic, but it's really important. You have to be very clear on what you want. The delivering company has to be really clear on what to deliver. And the next part is the business and technical specification, or the SRS when it comes down to application development. So this part has to be really clear in terms of delivering and in terms of what technology are being used, how the work patterns are going to be, and also how the milestones are going to be.
So from my personal experience, the cloud platform we have, it has made my life as well as the life of our clients way easier. So regarding this technological consideration, what solutions would you give when we are sending our projects offshore?
Yeah, I can't agree with you more on this. I think the technology structure of a company who provides offshore solutions, they need to have some sort of technology support for their clients. And the reason is, when you're on a long-term contract with a company, there are thousands of tasks. There are hundreds of employees being engaged. So what we do, I mean, you know that what we do over here is our cloud platform basically gets our client real-time task management from our employees. The clients are basically seeing real-time what tasks are going where and what are the status of the tasks. I think that's really important for any company out there working for offshore projects to ensure the technology support for their clients. I would like to talk about another thing, that is your reviews and QA, which is a really important part when you're working on complex projects. As I told you before, that you can have milestones, you can have reviews and QA to get better, and also to ensure that you are on the right track and you're exactly delivering what the client is looking from you.
Right, now let's say a company with limited budget. Should they go for a cloud-based platform like us, or should they use the other boards?
I think it's never about the budget. It's about the company who is providing the service. Do they have the platforms? Do they have the solutions or not? For an example, how do you communicate with your clients in London? You never use emails for short-term communications, right? Because we have that communication platform where you can just take your cell phone out of your pocket and you just write something, it pops in your client's cell phone, right? So it's that seamless. I think for all companies out there, I think it's important that you have a handful of solutions for the clients that you're working with, especially if you're working with complex projects. So I think the discussion that we had today would help a lot of clients out there who are looking to outsource their tasks, and also a lot of companies out there who are looking for clients off the shore. And I think we're going to discuss more on this in the next content. So yeah, goodbye from me.
Alright, thank you, Diat. Thank you people for taking the time in your busy life to come and watch this video. Stay tuned for further updates and stay tuned.
You can't take away someone's courage. You can't take someone's passion. There's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. We share what we've learned from years of experiences and out of our mistakes. It's just not another fairy tale. It's the story that made us stronger and brought the best of us.